So, Prof, set. Yeah, so good morning, and I'm happy to welcome every one of you to today's workshop. And let me first of all congratulate every one of you for, on being selected as the participants for the Cardano Ghana Ambassador Program. This Cardano Ghana Ambassador Program is an initiative of the Cardano Ghana community, which was being spearheaded by me with support from the Cardano Foundation. So if you are aware, Cardano Foundation is what runs the Cardano Ambassador Program. But we have an initiative in the ambassador ecosystem called Impact Port. And so periodically, cycles upon cycles, ambassadors are able to propose and get some resources or funds in order to implement ideas that will help promote Cardano at their respective regions and countries. And so fortunately, we're able to get support for this ambassador program. The idea is to ensure that we select a few of you that are active in the Cardano ecosystem, especially in Ghana and even northern Ghana here, so that of course we can empower you with the knowledge and skills as well as some resources, so that you can also in your own ways do well for Cardano, promote Cardano to the best of your capacity or your ability, and at everywhere you find yourself, beginning from your family, from your community, from your campus, at the workplace, in your region, in your city, and even in the country at large. So that's the essence of this program. That is why we have limited it to just 20 participants. We want to do engage 20 participants. So right after this in-person workshop, we are going to have the ongoing mentorship sessions on our virtual platforms. That's why we started with the Telegram group. Outside the Telegram, we'll be doing periodic virtual calls, at least either bi-weekly or once a month, to check in with you and then understand your concerns. But just for your information, at this session, we'll try as much as possible to, as I highlighted at the preliminary stages, we expect some of you to be part of meetup organizers. Some of you will take up roles around content creation, and some of you will take up roles around community moderation. Do we understand? So at the end of the day, we want to have these three thematic areas that we will be looking at with regards to community meetup organizing, content creation, and then community moderation. All right. So that's just the background about the Ghana Ambassador Program. That's just basically what we want to do. And as part of my opening remarks, I would also want to express a very warm gratitude to the Hackaboost Developer Hub, and led by Sahabia and then his colleague Habib Maltima, for of course partnering with us or giving us a space in order to use this to have our workshop. This is the beauty of working together as a community and working together as an ecosystem. We belong to Cardano doesn't mean that we don't have anything to do with Ethereum or Arbitrum or any other, Solana or any other blockchain community. But we are intertwined because we are all working towards the same goal. Blockchain is blockchain. But when you see Cardano talking about proof of stake, when you see Bitcoin saying proof of work, proof of impact of what, we are all working towards achieving the same goal. So we are very grateful to the Hackaboost team for hosting us today for our workshop, and that is just the little we want to say around that. So now this is me, Mohammed Mustapha Yakubu, Cardano ambassador since 2022. Do I say 2022? All right, since 2022, and it's been 2 years now, amazingly, with the Cardano ecosystem. But I officially started as got involved with the Cardano ecosystem in 2021 as a local summit organizer during the Maiden Cardano Summit 2021, and right from there it's been amazing growth. And I lead events and also ideas to promote Cardano and enhance adoption in Ghana for the past 2 to 3 years. But generally in blockchain, it's been 7 years plus. that I have been into events, organizing blockchain education, and I'm passionate about education, leadership, and technology. But we need to also make some backdrop in terms of history or recap around how the web or the internet has evolved over the years. You know, we grew from what the read-only era, that's the Web 1 era, and that has to do with the static web pages where the developers are here. And so for me, because we are educated and most of us are non-tech guys, we try as much as possible to explain some of these concepts to the best of our understanding. But of course, those of you who are doing the nitty-gritties or who are doing the programming, you know that best than us. But of course, that's the read-only era. That's the Web 1. And then we moved to the Web 2 era where websites and web pages began to have interactivity, where you will have some multimedia on your content in order to interact. And you can see Netflix, Google, you can see Google Drive, you see the X handle, Amazon Web Services. But there was one still issue with the Web 2 era, ownership, because you got to have the parent companies and the big giants companies having control over your data. Because all that was happening there, you don't have control. Google has access to our data and they can decide to do whatever they want with our data without even our consent. They can make money from that. They can make money from that without having to, respect our privacy. Meta is here. Facebook has a lot of information about us, about users, and that's a problem. But Web3 is what is bringing us to ownership. You have control over the digital assets that you are creating. And that's basically what the Web3 is bringing us into. And it's leveraging the blockchain technology for us to be able to build. A perfect example is the Brave browser. I don't know how many of us use the Brave browser. Brave is very amazing, and the programmers like it a lot because it enhances that ownership attribute, and of course enhances privacy and security very well. And that's basically what that's the Web 1, Web 2, Web 3 era, and that's how the web has changed. And then blockchain can play an enormous role with regards to this. Now, why is it called blockchain? Of course, just using the words blockchain, chain of blocks, right? Chain of blocks. Because a transaction, these are basically representative of transactions that occurs. Assuming you have the Google Drive. The Google Drive takes a lot of information. You can have different folders on your Google Drive. And even under each folder, there are set of information and set of data. But unlike the Google Drive is not public. Do we have access to Google? No, Google Drive is never public, even if it's your own. You have to even decide to make it public. And if you decide to make it public, it's still restricted, unless you have granted access to several people to be able to edit and have access to your Google Drive. But blockchain is public. It has several users called node operators. It has several programmers running and maintaining the blockchain. That's the generality of it. And of course, the maddest blockchain is a Bitcoin blockchain. Today, our focus will be on the Cardano blockchain because we are learning to become Cardano ambassadors. And so blocks of data are being recorded and put in chain. And once a transaction occurs, every transaction has its hash. It has its timestamp. This is the time the transaction occurs between this and that. And it's being recorded and put onto the relevant block. If it is about Cardano transactions, it's recorded on the Cardano blockchain. And then nothing can happen to it because we call it immutability. You cannot change it. Once it is recorded, it's difficult for you to make changes to the transaction or the data that has been recorded. For you to tamper with it, you will need to be able to seek consensus from all the other participants or the node operators in the ecosystem in order to have changes to that. And that's why it's very difficult to be able to change what is recorded onto the blockchain. Now, what does blockchain help us to achieve? Traceability. We can create transparent data records that can be easily verified by anyone. Example is a winemaker records information about each production step, the variety of wines, the location, the harvest date, to allow tracking of his entire supply chain So I think later in this presentation, we'll get to see some sample and real world use cases of how this thing has helped in terms of traceability. Traceability. Today we have tracking technologies where we can track our goods and services. But of course, blockchain allows you to be able to trace, allows you to be able to build decentralized applications where participants can trace supplies of goods and services from the production point to even the consumer point. Authenticity. We can confirm identity. We are all battling with identity these days, and it's very, very difficult. People are impersonating others, especially in this era of deepfake and AI. AI is allowing a lot of people to be able to create avatars, to create videos, even music videos, and imitate prominent people, even presidents of big presidents in the world, and imitate them in order to misrepresent these people. But it is only blockchain that will allow us to be able to verify. Recently, my brother Sido was making the remarks about it. How can we authenticate information these days? Even just a clip of video online, it's difficult to even know, is this true or false? Is this actually coming from the person speaking? And if it's coming from him, what is the time duration? Is it the current video? Is it an old video? These are some of the issues that we have in our space or in our world now. And of course, authenticity blockchain is something that will help us a lot in terms of understanding that. An example would be like a limited edition. A sneaker comes with a QR code linked to the blockchain to prove ownership and allow consumer engagement. For instance, this shirt I'm wearing was a gift, my end of year gift from the Cardano Foundation, and that's represent the Genesis T-shirt. It just came. FedEx brought it last Tuesday or so, and I went for it. And if you see there, there's a hash. If you want me to stand and you see, there's that hash, that transaction hash, the first transaction that occurred on the Cardano blockchain, 23rd September 2017. This is the time, 17 hours, 44 minutes, 15 seconds UTC. And that's the hash being written. And this is the first transaction of the Cardano blockchain. And that's the Genesis T-shirts that was given to, of course, not just me, but to every Cardano ambassador in the ecosystem for their enormous efforts, contributing to the ecosystem. So Cardano has its store, Cardano store, where we're giving coupons. You go there and check out the shirt. Around 34 euros or so, and need to be shipped down to you. This is one of the benefits that you get as ambassadors. Oh, is that okay? Swag. After swag, it's those of you who are familiar with blockchain ecosystem. There's several swags. Water bottles, t-shirts, caps, stickers, web cameras. These are amazing that we'll discuss later in our presentation, so that you get to understand some of the material benefits in the ecosystem. Immutability, we've mentioned this. How can we trust? So this shirt, basically, once you see the hash, simple. I have this hoodie. The hoodie was also given by the Cardano Foundation. It has an NFC at the shoulder like this. Once you put NFC scan, you'll be able to confirm that this hoodie came from Cardano Foundation. And that's how we can certify and be able to authenticate products. Is this from Adidas? Is this from... So sometimes you go to the market, cycles, for instance. I was buying this loafer from one of these quality loafers, and the guy was trying to sell a fake loafer for me. And sometimes how fake products look very shiny. There's a fake product, they're just very beautiful and having some shiny. It doesn't really shine. It shines more than even the original. So when I saw the loafer, I thought, no, Charlie, I can't buy this loafer. But if let's say Jordan, or let's say one of these loafer producers, we're having something like a QR or like an NFC where I can just scan and confirm this is an original loafer, there wouldn't be any theft in the market now. But people are misrepresenting brands. Coca-Cola, Casio. You see these watches, they'll write Casino, and this is you think it is Casio, to misrepresent a brand. But these are things we can use to distinguish ourselves. This is not ours, this is our product. And then it can easily be verified. So once you point at the NFC, you'll be able to verify it. Even wherever you go, assuming they want to authenticate your identity at a checkpoint, you go and you say, okay, I'm a Cardano ambassador. What shows? This is my card, this is my NFC. NFC cards. So we have this sometimes, they use them for doors. You have these cars, you just come and put it at the door and it opens. Most of these top-star hotels, that's how their keys are. Some of you are familiar with it, right? So are you familiar with that? These are built-in cars. Your car, your room key is just a card that they come and put at it, and they say sounds sprung, then it opens for you. That's the NFC technology that they use. So, and we call them Internet of Things, IoT, Internet of Things. So you see devices interacting with each other. You can easily be verified. Immutability. Like if you upload a photo of receipt that confirms that you bought an item on a certain day, locking it permanently. You can't tamper with the receipt. So if we have that database, blockchain allows you to be able to just upload receipts and certificates. Nobody can tamper with it. Land titles, and nobody can tamper with your paper. Then for you to go and the chief police will tell you that, okay, for instance, a friend told us that he bought a land twice. He bought it, came to develop, and another owner came. That this is his land, and produced. The person was also holding papers. You can issue 2 different land titles. But once it is issued once on the blockchain, nobody can tamper again. And I remember a certain group was having an initiative like that, where they want to build a project. It was just an MVP for us in Northern Ghana, so that we'll be able to track, we'll be able to have land titles available in the ecosystem, and people can easily verify availability of lands and buy. Economic relevance. So this is a potential across many industries. Financial services, the banks can use that and leverage blockchain for growth. Retail and e-commerce, Amazon, Cookie, Gigi, right? Gigi is there. We have Jumia, we have Kiku, and then that popular Temu. I don't know if Temu exists or not, but sometimes Temu can market a laptop as 18 cedis, and you will find it difficult to believe. Who has ever purchased from Temu? And everywhere their adverts are there. These are some of the things. Web 2 is allowing a lot of Ponzi schemes. That's a reality. There are times you order from Jumia a suit, and the suit will come. It will be very light. Or you order for a distance, the sandals. When the sandals come, pure rubber, it's very soft. If you wear toy sandals, if you wear it to the sun, master, you will not be able to feel comfortable. But the picture, you can't even detect description, everything, and the picture will deceive you. Energy and utilities, of course, can leverage blockchain to be able to what? Healthcare, pharmaceuticals. Today, look at drug smuggling. This is what we are all battling. Those days, we were hearing from other countries. Now it's in Ghana, it's in Tamale, drug abuse. We are not able to track. Opioid comes from India, and we don't even know. The producers are even there. Yet we cannot track and stop this drug smuggling. It comes in 120 milligrams, 220, 250. Manufacturing. We be able to, once we take advantage of the blockchain. That's why the central banks now realize that no, this is a technology that will help us a lot. But we have to prepare infrastructure-wise, because this is something that requires a lot of electricity supply and a lot of big databases for it to be able to thrive on the ecosystem. Agri and food production, fake products. So recently, what do they call Food and Drugs Authority, FDA. Sometimes you hear FDA will issue notice. Please, producers will bring back this tomato brand. That particular tomato brand is now harmful in the market. How come? If we're able to do a lot of tracking with the producer, these things wouldn't have been happening. We would have been able to do away with a lot of bad and also counterfeit goods and services. Supply chain, we had mentioned that tracking the goods and services from production point to the supply point. Government services, BEPS and DEVs, National Identification Authority, can leverage blockchain to be able to deliver national identification services. And the NHIS platform, even our hospitals, data management, recently we heard that the limb system, information system that hospitals uses in Ghana, the contract got ended, and the hospital has to reverse to the folder system. You go, they have to look for your folder. You have to queue. You go to payment point, 2 queues. It's making us so slow, and we cannot be efficient and effective. And that's the goal of Charles Hoskinson. Charles wants us to be able to what? Effectively and efficiently manage our data in the world, and also manage our digital assets. Now, this is a case study. Up to 20% of sold wine is fake. That's a reality. How already Kenyawan faked $30 million of wine. So these are some of the issues that comes. In the elite world of wealthy wine collection, there's one name that stands out, a name associated with the biggest wine fraud and counterfeit operation in history. That name is Rudy. Can you wear that? $30 million of fake wine. This is a case study we want to look at. From grape to glass, from grape to glass, making wine traceable on Cardano. So Cardano Foundation is able to bring a solution to address this. Now, the vineyard, the process starts in the vineyard where details like grape variety, the grape variety, like the location, the harvest date are recorded onto the blockchain, and then the bottles are being labeled and printed on what? Linked to the on-chain records, enabling what? Traceability. Do we get it? So right from the vineyard, where the grape raw materials are taking the look, everything, the harvest date, all these things will be recorded, and then the labeling starts, as well as the winemaking processes. So the grapes are turned into wine, and batches are lab tested during the bottling processes. Then they will be certified. After testing the bottles are scanned and associated with certification that verifies the wine's suitability for export. And then supply chain tracking will start. And then each step of the wine's journey from the winery to distributor is securely lodged, ensuring what? Transparency at all points. And then consumers can scan a QR code to verify the wine's authenticity on the blockchain, and enjoy a fully traceable product. But if we don't do this, someone can just go and produce anything wine, finds its way of what? Supplying it to the industries. Today we see that in the market, sugar-free, and there's sugar in it. Non-alcoholic, but there's a content of alcohol. Non-alcoholic. They'll say, okay, this is 100% sugar. No, 100% zero sugar, zero this. What shows? Where can you verify it? That's the thing. We don't have that trusted gateway or that trusted platform like the blockchain where you can actually trust it, and you can just point to the barcode or the QR code and scan and verify that this is actually 100% zero sugar or 100% zero alcohol. And this is how blockchain can help in terms of what? Tracing that. Now, the footnote says that the wineries and the National Wine Agency digitally sign the information. Once updated to Cardano blockchain, it is validated and tamper-proof, ensuring transparency and compliance with trade and international standards, making verification easier for regulators. Now we have a lot of minerals in our system that are very harmful to us, yet we don't do anything. And sometimes I think it's also corruption that happens, because most of these businesses or industry will just go and then bribe their way through, and then they approve whether they are healthy for us or not. It comes to the market, then we start patronizing. This is the result. Can you see the bottle? Wine consumers can trust in and what? Verify. So the QR is there with Cardano label, and then that's the product journey. So you get that scan, then your shipment comes, location and date of wine bottling is recorded. End of what? Fermentation is there with the dates and everything, location and date of grape crashing, and then the harvesting. And that's how it goes. It gets shipped, and then you scan to verify. This is how impactful the Cardano blockchain helps. So through these projects, buyers one opened up 4 new international markets and had sales of 35% increment. And that is one of the Iraqis said that advisor to chairman, National Wine Agency, Georgia. And this was a solution from the Cardano Foundation in terms of engaging enterprises to leverage blockchain. Some key numbers in the ecosystem. Established in 2015, launched in what? 2017. We already indicate. Please take note. You are becoming ambassadors. These things will be at your fingertips. Of course, we'll have a lot of materials for you guys to refer to. And let me also mention that becoming a Cardano Ghana ambassador doesn't just necessarily, even if we as Cardano ambassadors, global ambassadors, your campaigns or your activism proves or what validates your existence as an ambassador. Of course, you won't get fired, you won't get removed, but one thing you will lose out, your value, your relevance, and your reward. Because we are rewarded as an ecosystem. As an ambassador, if I'm able, at least every month, I'm expected to undertake an activity, anything to promote Cardano in Ghana. And once I do that in a report, I get rewarded. So at the end of the day, at the end of every month, we have a ranking, sheet. And we even have our proof of what? Proof of impact sheet. No, proof of work. We call it proof of work sheet. Whatever you've done, you record that onto the sheet. And then they grade it and reward you. And if you take these things serious, these are things that can even become, you will not even call it side hustle. It can even become your own job. Not even side hustle. Because there are some side hustles that pays more than full-time jobs. True of us. Yes, some side jobs pays more than full-time roles, especially when you are working remotely or when you are being paid in foreign currencies like, blockchain, either or maybe in dollars. 2,000 plus. No, so international footprint. Cardano Foundation is there. The Input Output Global is there. And then Imego. These are the three entities behind Cardano ecosystem. I think we've mentioned this several in our meetups. And then it's been 100% since what? 2017. It's been up and running. And about 114 million transactions already have happened on the Cardano chain, Cardano blockchain, 100 million transactions. There are 2,000 plus projects that are building on the blockchain, on Cardano. 10 plus million native tokens being minted, native tokens. Just within the ecosystem, builders are able to create what? Some native tokens, and about 10 million plus of them have been what? Minted. Global footprint, 5 continents, 65 plus countries. And thankfully, Ghana is part of that. If you open the map, you will see Ghana. Even at Project Catalyst, Cardano Project Catalyst, Ghana has the highest. As of the last round, Fund 14, Ghana was having, Fund 13. Ghana was having the highest number of projects. In Africa, Ghana, we had a lot of projects from Project Catalyst. And that's to speak to our role as what? As ambassadors and as partners. Cardano, the public digital infrastructure of the future. So we have public permissionless, proof of stake blockchain. Proof of stake blockchain. And it's also built with what? Energy efficiency in mind. First founded and peer review. If peer review research basically tells us that this is research focused, research driven. And so Cardano has the legality, they have the legal team, they have the engineering team, they have the technology team. IOG is very, very well established. I'm sure you saw Charles here, but later we can look at the organogram. Very, very well established. These are things I want us to take note, because you should be able to tell some of the features that makes Cardano authentic, that makes Cardano different. And when someone says, well, is blockchain not scam? No. You should be able to tell the team that runs it and some of the attributes or some of the things that is being built on. Developed to provide maximum security, scalability, and decentralization. Security first, and then we'll scale it, leveraging other chains, such as Solana, such as the Bitcoin, such as Polkadot, in order to what? In order to grow. And then also what? Give the community the space to make an impact. Innovative ideas and robust engineering. So there's an ongoing engineering. Hydra is there, layer 2, and several what? Building that is happening in the ecosystem. And of course, innovative ideas. It gives the ecosystem, the community, has the power. Let's quickly mention the roadmap of Cardano, and I'm sure we know that. How many roadmaps? How many? How many? Are they 10 stages? 16, 2, 3, how many? 5, right? So the first roadmap is what? What's the name that Charles gave to it? The 5 era. Let's mention one. The Voltaire. You are mentioning Voltaire, but I want to know the first. The Byron era, right? Great. Byron era. That was the foundational era. Okay, the second phase. Second phase. Is it Basho or Gauguin? Shelley, right? The Shelley era. Great. That's the second phase. Shelley era, the transactional era. And then that's the Shelley. And then the third is what? The Gauguin, which is what? Gauguin or Gauguin, right? That's the smart contracts era, right? The smart contracts era. And then Basho, scalability. And then the last stage, Voltaire, which is what? Voltaire stands for, what's the era? Governance. Governance. And so Charles Watson said his roadmap is done. And now his community, Cardano is now in the hands of the community. D-reps are there, approving budgets, reviewing governance actions, and ensuring that they make what? They make contribution or have a voice in the ecosystem. Cardano uses proof of stake instead of the energy-intensive proof of work used by Bitcoin. And so the number of stakes, once you hold an amount of the ADA tokens, you are given the stake. You have the right. You are like now a shareholder. And it's not about effort. It's not about the number of mining you're able to do, like energy, if you know. But it's about how much tokens you have. How much tokens you have, and how much time are you able to contribute in decision making. If you want to delegate your power, let's say if you become a delegated representative, of course, you can allow others to act on your behalf. So if you pick your wallet, the wallet that has about 1,000 ADA, you can stake that to a D-rep. The D-rep should use your voting power, 1,000 ADA, and act on your behalf on governance actions. They want to vote for proposals, region specific. Africa should take $10 million. Europe should take this. Asia should take this amount. So you vote. The community will have a say. The founder wouldn't say, oh, because I created this, I founded this, and he will just sit with the team, engineering team, and the technology team, and you to know. Runs on what? Hardware, and user support what? And then user support block production by committing their coins. That is by holding. So as ambassador, let's try to, of course, hold and encourage holding. Let's not focus on price. People want price to go. My friend in the office will say, Charlie, Mustapha, one day crypto will kill us. That is not easy. And you open his Binance, he's even holding this thing on XX Binance. I tell, look at my coins. The thing is just there. I said, please, accountant, buy more. This is the time those who actually want to even hold and benefit from crypto, when it's dipping, that is the time they are happy. They want it to dip. It will dip more. You buy the dip and it will dip. But it will go. The bull run will surely come. Markets are bull and bear. Bullish and bearish. So of course, when the bull run comes, now right now BTC is 90,000. It's nearing 100,000. This one, who has checked the price? Or this thing, once you check coin market cap, 95. It's almost 100K. Just that some people say, okay, yeah, Bitcoin is going bad. What happens to the altcoins? The altcoins are just there. I know you have your sell targets, you have scheduled your alarms and your calendars to prompt you once it gets to $1 or $2. Of course, 2020, is it 2021, 2020 thereabout? That was around 2.2. The 2021 when I was coming in, it was around 2. Can you imagine? 2 point something. How many years now? From 2021, it's been 4 years, and it's still downward spiral. But let's see. Hopefully, even 3. I think it went to 3, right? All-time high has been 3. But of course, let's not put the price as the. Let's look at the impact. Let's look at holding it, getting the coins, and building products, meeting assets, and contributing to governance. So stake is always liquid at all times and it's not locked. You can decide to take it. You can decide to sell, sell it, or delegate it to other coins. There's no slashing, partial loss of coins if no shows for it to know. There's no slashing. And some other chains like those POW, proof of work stuff, once they put your chain or you set up your node, you are likely to lose some of your coins if the node breaks down. If the node breaks down, especially with regards to what? With regards to data, it will become very, very difficult. Now, high quality. So there's this exciting thing that I want to end on before we take the next section from Siru. Cardano Academy. How many of you have heard about Cardano Academy? Cardano Academy. How many? There are just few here. Oh, local ambassadors. Very soon, some of you will become promoters of that. So, high quality blockchain. We have the high quality blockchain, okay? Education. So businesses and technical courses from beginner to advanced level. This is a free platform for you to learn. It's free, it's mobile, it's self-paced, it is expert verified. Professional development, and it also has gamification and reinforcement points. So you log on to the Cardano Academy platform and you can take several courses on blockchain, several courses on Cardano, smart contracts, get to understand how smart contracts works, how you can build on Cardano. Governance, you get to learn about governance. There's that curriculum, the founders, enterprise, and technical tracks. Courses from the fundamentals of blockchain to Cardano blockchain, certified associate, CBCA. Most of them have completed the initial stages. Initial is also there. And there are 7 courses released, 5 more pending, and there's also certification. So at every stage, when you complete, there's a completion badge for you. There are LinkedIn credentials that you can add to your LinkedIn. I hope we are on LinkedIn. Please, if you are not on LinkedIn, try to create a LinkedIn account today. Because, of course, LinkedIn is getting spoiled now because of artificial intelligence. It is not difficult to trust or to have that authenticity of data that has been published on LinkedIn. And it's also challenging. Someone will come and describe one thing in a paragraph. It's a course. Someone can take a 1-minute course or to 1-hour course and come and describe it as if it's a PhD they have earned on LinkedIn. And when you talk, they will say it is packaging. Of course, it's good to package yourself, but let's not try to fake it a lot. Let's not try to fake it a lot. Some people will say that popular slogan, fake it till you make it. But if you fake, sometimes you go to interview, they ask you said you speak Spanish. And you will become like Sabinus. Sabinus went to interview and they saw Spanish on his CV. And he said, oh, we saw that gentleman that you speak Spanish. He said, oh, no. Oh, my friend borrowed my CV. He went and commerce Spanish and that he kept Igbo on his speech, on his CV. It's only Igbo he speaks, not Spanish. It was his friend who borrowed the CV. He went and cleared Igbo and put Spanish. So when the guy returned the CV, he didn't remember to. So please, let's not try to fake too much. It's good to market yourself. Tell the story. Let them know your value. You have been recruited as this and that. And of course, even after this, you can go and celebrate, your session. After this, you can go and celebrate yourself on LinkedIn. Tag us. Say that you're now a Cardano ambassador, committed to doing this and that. Of course, so there will be certification and $99 online, 90 minutes, 50 questions. After you take the preliminary stages, you sit for the exams. So Pearson centers will be there. And fortunately, we have coupons for you guys. For those of you who want to take the course, $99 will be scrapped to become $0 for you. And you can write it and take the certificate. It's partnered with our Pearson view. And it's very well, credibly. Once you get this certificate, it can take you places. As a web developer, you are applying for a remote job, blockchain engineer or software engineer, whatever they want. What's your blockchain experience? This certificate can easily grant you the chance and reach your CV and get the opportunity that you are looking for. We also have the accelerator program. So if you have blockchain startups that you are running, for instance, HackerBoost, we are introducing you to our Cardano accelerator program. So we have 5 ventures per cohort, and you can apply to that. if you want to promote what Cardano in your corner and you are a startup, you can apply to the Accelerator Hub, and there's going to be mentorship and technical support. There are hybrid cohorts, sometimes in person, sometimes online, and there's also diverse funding opportunities to support your startup. So those of you who intend to start out, you can start a startup, of course, from your ambassador activity. So there will be venture onboarding and acceleration. There's also enterprise enablement. So equip leaders. If you are at an enterprise, you want to equip. So there are special courses that are going to equip leaders to identify key adoption opportunities, and then workshops and templates. You can ideate and define solutions to real business challenges. Then you can also pilot your You can also pilot collaborations and accelerators to launch market-ready ventures and scalable solutions. These are the venture hub opportunities for enterprises. So you can basically scan this. Blockchain fundamentals are there. The CBC is there, intermediate. We have the open source courses. We have the staking rewards and calculation, 30 minutes. We have the 18 also course on the Cardano Academy. So once you scan the QR, of course, we'll share the links with you to go and learn. Welcome to Cardano Academy. You take that at your disposal. You can use your smartphone and take it. You can use your PC. When you are just work, if you close from work, weekends, midnight, you can sit and, of course, take some courses on the Cardano Academy that can enhance your knowledge and skills on the ecosystem. So start your path to certification today. Get certified for free, and then 8 hours of self-study, practical exams, take some quizzes, online exams with Pearson, and then 90 minutes, 50 questions. And you are going to have the $99 being wait for you with our tokens, of course. So we have several exam tokens that you can use, about 50 of them. You can use to take your exams. Do we understand? So these are some. Please, let's take notes. I'm sure you have your jotters, you have your online notebooks that you are writing the notes. And at the end of the day, you will know your interest areas. Especially those of you who want to be on the content team. The content team, Cardano Academy is one thing you can actually prioritize in terms of your advocacy initiatives to promote that. All right, so this is just where this is the QR code for the Venture Hub. I'm sure we have all the links. In case you are interested, you can reach out, and that's how you can benefit from the ecosystem. Thank you so much. I'll end my opening session here, and then we'll take some section from Seydu Zibilin around content, and then of course later we'll zoom into Meetup. But we also have that group sessions. We'll have some breakout sessions around 3 areas: Meetup organizers, content creators, and moderators. So please, you will form your groups yourself based on your interest areas. Is that okay? So at the end of the day, we'll have some ideation that we are going to do, and then we talk about it. So basically, the Meetups organizers, they will be responsible for organizing Meetup, planning Cardano Meetups, organizing and hosting them. Either you want to do it online, you want to do it in person, it's up to you, or you want to do it hybrid. Where are you doing it? We'll discuss that in the campus, or you want to do it at the family dinner table. It can also become a meetup for you. And then content creators, you want to be following the Cardano constitution. You want to be talking about governance. You want to be talking about smart contracts on Cardano. Any area that you want to be talking about as a content creation. Of course, we have a studio around in multimedia that only time you can. I'm sure Seydu will share a little around that during the content session. And the moderators, you want to be that person who is like a robot. Crypto Short is here. When he was managing your community, I'm going to use him as an example. He's been a community manager, and it's very rewarding. It's very rewarding. You have a Telegram group, and you make sure that you recruit membership, community, responding to questions. Hello, I just joined. If someone joins, welcome the person, and then you introduce the person. You working with the boss, and that's how you can be a community manager for an ecosystem, an entire blockchain ecosystem. And it's very rewarding and also very tiring. Of course, it's even remote. Once you have your smartphone and your phone on your hands, you can always interact with people, share material, share information. That's basically how the community moderation happens. And some of you can also take that route. So you may see it to be cheap, but it's not cheap. It's not easy. So we'll be sending updates. Of course, community moderator too, you'll be sending emails, newsletters, communications via mails, anything that has to do with virtual communications. That's what you as community moderator will be in charge of. So this is something that we'll also look at. So start thinking through it, and then we'll have a little pause, and of course it will come. Then we can maybe down do the breakout sessions. Thank you very much for the audience for now.